I'm not the type of kid to have my biz in the streets.
If my mom don't approve, then I'll just elope. Let me take the little man from inside the boat. Let me hit it from the back, girl, I won't catch a hernia. Bust off on your couch, now you got Siemens furniture.
Shy fight for the extra P. Stacy Beagle, DJ, and my man LG. They know the abstract's really sold on ice. The character is a man, never ever a mice. Shorty, let me tell you about my only vice. It has to do with lots of love in it. It ain't nothing nice. 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 It ain't nothing nice.
Hey, so right now it's the same trade setup as earlier. I'd still be covering shorts down here. Right? Don't get faux showed. So now you just got where the faux show, bro, happened before. You got it a little extended that time. But it's the same kind of scenario. UVXY being at the highs this time is the difference. So chances are it's going to get worse unless UVXY starts plummeting for some reason right now. But UVXY is telling us this is going to get a little bit more intense to the downside. But if you are still short, again, you still do want to do something here because that's the law. Stock gets back to where you came from, cover. Now the breakdown price is the 581 is the nearest. But you're still in the 2.5 point range. So 582.50 just got you to 580. You're thinking 577.50 now that we broke down. 2-day VWAP, remember that was resistance just a second ago. 3-day up there. And so now you're looking at the 4-day where we just got back to. So now the new battle's at the 4. If the battle's lost, you're looking for 5. And in between the 4 and the 5 is the 77.50 area, which is generally where you find algorithmic support anyway. So I'd still be covering a big majority of this trade, but UVXY still hovering at the highs tends to say that the market's going to go lower from here. And good afternoon, Internet. If you haven't joined us, this would be the best week of your life. If you joined us last week, you're already well on your way to understanding why this is the best trading room to ever be involved in. It's way much more than day trading. We've navigated this market better than most people. We're long when we needed to be, short when we needed to be, now predominantly in cash again. I only had a few names to trade today. I was looking at the gaps on Humana for a short, got paid. UNH, same exact trade. UNH grinded me out of the short because that's what I do. I play by the rules. I got paid, and then the short's over, and I could have went long again. Humana, better choice on the downside. I'll show you why. He got to the orange line, and it was a much easier, better trade. But let's talk about the QQQ and why you're still short. UVXY hitting highs at 11 o'clock is bearish for the market. The market getting rejected at VWAP, super bearish. This was a stop hunter to get the last of the shorts off out of the trade, as it was a bullish engulfing candle, but yet rejected still at the VWAP where we make our decisions. So the decider decided for us. And it decided to tell us that you covered some shorts here and you're willing to get out if it breaks over VWAP and test it from on top. But it didn't even get to it and then rolls, not only keeping you in the original short, but giving you some incentive to, hey, maybe I could get short at 81.50 using the 82.50 and the 83. And now you're getting paid to the downside. And still looking for more on the downside because you're kind of in limbo. Generally, 580 gets you 577.50. So right now, the stops, if you are still short, 580 is too close. But is it? No, it's perfect. Usually you want to give it 2.5 points. But now that 580 has been breached, tested, and rolled, now that exact price, the 580.17, is your stop. Sprinkle in the 581.50, the 582.50, and now you've got 3 stops if you want to stay short. You have your downside target, which is the 5-day VWAP. Now you let the chop because you know the important levels where you have to do something. But right now you're in the wait and see mode because you have to wait and see if this next rollover gets to 77.50 and 76. If it becomes a fake out shakeout and starts to rip higher, you cover here. And the most you let it breathe, again, 581. So there you go. That trade's still working. Also, and I don't really talk too much about this, but recently I do have a big trade. It's called a short strangle. I sell puts and calls on the Qs and QQQ related products because I do believe this market is going lower, but I do believe it's still going to keep coming back, otherwise known as a wonderful trading range. And if we stay in the trading range for 18 months, the only people that make money are traders. And the only long-term trade that you want to be on is short strangles. So you're selling premium above and below the tops of the ranges over the big area. So for instance, 637, I'm selling 750s, 800s, 820s, $900 calls on the Qs. And I do believe even if we do go lower, it's not going to be to the point where I'm selling puts, because I'm selling puts at 385, 350, 300, 285, and 250s. So my idea is that this market is going to stay in this monstrous April to October range for a little bit longer, if not go lower first. So I'm playing both sides. So if we stay in this lovely 250 point range, which I think we're going to for 18 months, I collect premium every 3 months on all the contracts that I'm selling. If we start to break down, I lighten up on the put side if I get nervous. But again, the closest puts that I have sold are below 2-year lows. And if we start to break out and rip higher, I don't really have to worry about those because the nearest ones I have are 750s for August, which are pretty much worthless already. 800s for December, 825s for March. I got 850s for next June. And it's a position I do love it. And I've been doing it on silver by selling AGQs. It's a way to it's like my CD. Instead of locking up money in a CD, I lock up money on these short strangles and collect premium as the market continues to go sideways. The only difference here is the naked call side, usually the side that winds up ruining the trade because the market doesn't usually like to go down. But that's why this period of time has been really good for me because we've gone slightly down. I don't need down. I just need not going up every day. All right. So back to this last little pivot, right? Shorts just said, oh no, right? But you don't do anything yet. That 580.17 is the spot. You get over the last attempt, and usually that triggers more buying. By the way, we traded that UNH. I'm assuming you guys came along for the ride with me. We couldn't have traded it any better. It just wasn't that good of a trade, but we traded it as good as you could get, right? So I went with UNH short. I got in a little late, got to the price where I wanted to see it, test the lows of the day. I covered some here, and then I lowered my stop to the ass crack right there. And that was me covering my short. And it looked like it was a bad cover for a second, but now, again, I got every penny I could get out of this trade. Didn't want to cooperate. Humana, much better choice because it did cooperate and you got a lot more out of it. Blue line and orange line, but that trade's over now too. And just like that, look at the cues, right? Just like that. Even though these shorts have been working, if you're playing by the rules, you just covered most of it just now, and you were just forced to cover some more of it. So now you're down to the last lots thinking, hey, I better not let this trade get away from me. Because every time we go down, this market's a faux show, bro, away from ripping back in your face. Then the news hits, and then it's another ultra Tuesday blast off. But you're not going to get caught short as long as you keep lowering your stops to the pivot point levels down here. So, yeah, you got stopped out of Summit 580 just now. Good. Now you say, okay, I'm going to stay short what I got left unless it breaks over the 581.50. And that's how you stay in this trade. You cover on the way down. You're hoping for more. And then you remember that you don't know what's going to happen. You place your stops at very specific levels and let the market do its work. Bounces, like we just witnessed, in a market where UVXY is up 8%, are usually just short covering bounces. They're not as significant. Just like when the market's going down on little pullbacks, when UVXY is weak, you know they're just little bull market profit-taking pullbacks. So today, they're making it hard to stay short, but you look at UVXY, still up 8%. That's why you're more inclined to let these shorts breathe today opposed to any other day. And why is this day different than any other day, Father? By the way, did you see my video of Solid Jello coming down off the mountain and smashing VWAP tablets? Can I upload videos? I can.
If you will not trade with the VWAP, you will die by the VWAP. If you will not trade with the VWAP, you will die by the VWAP.
It's funny every time. Yeah, I'm reporting with. I have like 6 impersonators. That must be on to something, right? I got literally 6 of them. I think there might be more. There's a WhatsApp, Kenny Glick, trying to get people to join his WhatsApp page now. Good luck being a shorter. Yeah, there you go. Oh, good luck. Did we win the war again? Holy freaking shit, people. Good luck being a shorter without using stops. Oh my God. Now, look, obviously that's a news driven algo. Or was it? Because that was just a range break to the upper range, right? Wow. That's incredible. Just could have been one big short squeeze, right? Just to get the last of the shorts that had the stops at 81. Sick. Man. So what was that? Was that some sort of news algo? What was that? What dropped that created that spike? Every 5 minutes. Now it's every 5 minutes. We got another. It's getting silly now.
You will not trade with the V-Box. You will die by the V-Box.
He'll die by the vila. He'll trade with the vila. Damn it! I think I just deleted my video. Well, it's on. It's on. It's on. Damn it, Jim! I just did all that work for nothing. So as soon as I turn the page, it's all that work I did is gone. That's not right. Come on, Grok. Now I gotta redo that whole thing. Damn it, Jim. Oh man, it's all gone. The filth and foul did I just do? I gotta learn how to save this stuff. But oh man. I guess if I load up the last video, it'll get build from there again, I guess. Ooey. Fa fa fo hi. Well, if I ever find it now. What? Holy mackerel! I mean, seriously, I'm. It's kind of pointless to trade the Qs right now because you got no advantage of what's going to happen next. But what you do know is ELAB. So I mentioned this before. Again, the stock continues to be on our watch list every day. These pump and dumps continuously getting pumped. And if you're waiting to know when to buy them, how about faux show bro VWAP break, range breaks, right? Limited risk. You were risking basically 7 cents on this trade when I was talking about it earlier. 365 gets you 410. Blue line or orange line. It works on every type of stock as long as there's volume. Sorry about that. It looks so much worse than it is. It's, 20 cents on a $4 stock. I guess it's something. Well, it took me a while to get here, so it's better be worth your wait, right? Check it out. I made my first full length via, here it is. So I don't know if you could see this or not. But yellow straight to the point. If you don't hear what he's saying, if you don't trade with the VWAP, you will die by the VWAP. And the kid comes up behind him. I will live. He says, I believe. And he says, you'll live. Anyway, in the wonderful world of manipulation, right? Listen, if the short came to an end at the 580, so far so good, right? Shorting is short lived, then you know what's going to happen next, right? By the way, the one trade that we didn't make money on yesterday, Core Weave, followed through today. But, again, not much going on today, but we stayed with what worked. And I don't really got much else to say about it. Anybody got any questions, concerns? Saturday's class is I'm paid for. So if you want to join now, they just put together the greatest package ever. Against I voted no, but you're lucky. Corporate overlords, man, they're working for you. If you join for the year now, you're getting even Glick's picks for free for at least like 3 months or something like that. But yeah, you join now for the year, you're getting classes every month now, which I wasn't gonna do, but I don't mind doing that. We'll just pick a day every month. Usually it's a Saturday, but yeah, everything that's included for one low price now. But that price is going up because Glick's Picks is going to be a spin-off product soon, and when I build this alert system, that's going to be a spun off problem. Product. And if you are short, I think that's coming to a brutal end right now, right? You're always a faux show, bro, away from having to cover. Q's, the UVXY just tanked $1. So that's important. It's getting to the point where it's going to be virtually impossible to want to swing anything, because you don't know. You're going to have zero clue what's going to be happening overnight. But at least intraday, you got some control. And that, again, fake them out, shake them out. You saw what happened, and then it rolled over. And that's why I was saying you might tighten that stop up to the 580 and the 81, and you're not short anymore. And it looks like it was a good cover, because if we now break above here in the VWAP, next thing you know, you got yourself a rally. What time is it? All this before 11:30. Look at this. It's a lot. My friend just, I just, that's a crazy, Brian. My friend just posted that on online. He's like, now that's a weird coincidence. The markets are not concerned that a quote unquote whole civilization will die tonight. In fact, United Healthcare is up 9%, so Americans believe that they will be billing the wounded Iranians for their new healthcare plan. It's funny. But right. But that's kind of like the Wednesday night, Thursday trade, right? Where he said the exact opposite of what made the market go up. So wouldn't you think that the market should give it all back? And it didn't. And not only did it not, it rallied. So here we are. Bull markets don't care about news. And that's why what I was saying, we're back. We're back. We're back to not caring, just pretending to care. But try to stay on one side of this market for any long period of time right now, you're gonna have to get out. How do I pick my watch list? Stocks that are in the news have unusual volume on the stock, unusual volume on options. Usually pre-market, it's pump and dump biotech stocks that are on news or reverse stock splits. Those are usually the ones that are getting pumped. And then it's anything that's in the news or anything that has piqued my interest over the last 3 days. I stay focused. Like Core Weave yesterday was a decent trade. So Humana and UNH were gapped up today. So I was looking at those. Obviously, I trade the Qs every day. UVXY is my guide. And then that's it. Generally not really looking to trade more than 4 or 5 names. Sometimes I trade one name 3 times, and that's my whole day. But I'm just really just waiting it out. I didn't really trade too much yesterday. Some couple of pump and dumps today. Traded UNH. I should have went with the Humana. Well, I should have done both, but they both worked. Showed the Qs for a second. And here we are. So I don't need to do much right now, nor do I think you should be. This is definitely the time to make a day's pay and go away. And on April 14th, we have the beginning of earnings season kicking off with JP Morgan. So we'll be right back into gaps and just trading VWAP and ignoring the overall market. Obviously, if we're crashing, it'll be influential on the earnings reports, but we'll see when we get there. But yeah, you don't want to chop yourself up and get frustrated when we're about to go into the best time to trade. And listen, last week we had one of the greatest trading days of the year. Hopefully you guys killed it. And like I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. If you didn't make money on Thursday, you're clearly not trading correctly. And you should not only be a member of our room, you should be part of this class we're doing on Saturday, and you need to get VWAP into your life because Thursday was our holiday. And it wasn't Holy Thursday or Good Friday Eve. It was a VWAP faux show bro extravaganza. And you couldn't have failed because every trade faux show bro, pretty much 90% of stocks across the board. And it was one of the easiest days to make money of the year. So if you failed on Thursday, I would stop what you're doing right now and learn about faux show bros and range breaks and VWAP trading and anchoring VWAP to a certain amount of days. That's what we're going to be doing on Saturday. We talk about order entry, placing stops, raising stops, lowering stops, managing the trade, re-identifying the risk, setting a new trade up, placing stops, order entry, all that stuff. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of different levels that are really important on the Qs today. And again, it's important to understand what's going on. So you're looking at the 1 minute and the 1 day. The original sell, and this is my favorite trade, finger of God, where it tries to stay above VWAP and then rolls and breaks. Because that confirms the weakness. Right? Kind of what you did over here. So that prior day VWAP, again, right at the open, acted as resistance. Before that, it held for support for a second. And now it's really specific resistance. So now once you get past today's 1 day, You want to grab 2 days worth of data. And look how that came into play. It became a new area for the market to bounce and roll through. Hence the reason we're still short now. If you're shorter from here, I was a shorter in this move. So I used 80. I got me down to 80. I used 81.50. And then I was done with my short. Here's where it collided, giving another short opportunity. I didn't take this trade, but as it was rolling over, I said, wait, because now you broke back below the faux show area from earlier. This is where the market tends to faux show again. And next thing you know, breaks a new low, comes back, breaks over that level. And look at that squeeze. So those were all the people that placed their stops at the 80. And that was a massive short squeeze through the 80. And that's where we're in right now. You're still in that reaction candle. And the market's trying to decide whether it wants to crush the short some more by breaking out and getting over VWAP. And then you grab 3 days worth of data. And then you grab 4. And then you grab 5. And you're kind of just seeing all the things that could play out around these levels. And then you draw your own lines at the pivot points. You got your roadmap, and you're ready to rock. Order flow. The only order flow that I'm looking at, like if there's something specifically about order flow, we do have a scanner. It's called a institutional order flow scanner. I haven't used it in 6 months. We purchased it through a company called Trade Pulse. I haven't even looked at it in 6 months because I trade price mostly. And as far as order flow, I just watch time and sales, and I also watch the big block scanner, which is showing me, massive size on options, massive size on anything that goes through where you don't see it in the time and sales. But what we do have is Thursday night, we got somebody coming in, and he is from a company called Spot Gamma. And I haven't really done any due diligence here because I want it to be fresh for me and exciting. So when we're meeting this guy, whatever he's saying is going to be the first time I'm hearing it also. So I know I met the guy in Vegas. Sounds like a good dude. We're doing some cross promotions. It's called Spot Gamma. And once we started talking about volume, they look for, opportunities with options, looking for order flow in the option markets, which once you say order flow and volume, I'm interested. So we're going to see what this dude's all about. We'll live it, learn it. And of course, anybody talking about the Matrix, I'm a fan. So again, if I didn't like the guy enough already, he's got Matrix references on his website. We're gonna meet Brent, and there's another guy, Matt Fox. There he is. He calls himself a serial entrepreneur, which I find a very strange term. So are you getting into the professional hitman business? Are you a serial killer entrepreneur? It just seems such a strange. I've seen that phrase before. It seems such a bizarre way of saying it. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Okay. But yeah, we're going to meet that dude on Thursday night. And then we'll be talking all the order flow and technical analysis and all that fantastic stuff. This Saturday, 12 o'clock. Everyone's invited Thursday night. Just send me an email. Make sure you're on the list. Because if you're not on the list, you can't get in. It's not what you think. If you can name that tune, I'll be impressed. Yeah, the dungeon. We used the dungeon for the schmooze Thursday night, so you don't even have to leave. We'll keep the lights on for you. Music starts at 6. Usually, I play a Grateful Dead show from that day in history. So we're talking about what? We're talking about some trade that didn't work. We're talking about what? October 9th. So let's see. Grateful Dead 4-9. 4-9-89. I was probably at that show. Let's see where that was. Nope, I wasn't there. 4-9-89 out of Louisville. From Louisville. 4-9-89. Let's see. And then we check the set list and see if it was a good set. If you know you're dead, that's a good set already. Ride. At least you can join the ride. Into Sugaree. Me and my uncle Big River. Ramble on Rose. Come on. The Foolish Heart into Louie. Smart. Ooh. Ship of Fools into Estimated Uncle John's. Now, if it ends with a Wharf Rat, we're going to be really good. No, just Stella into Sugar Mags. Let's see what else was going on in 89. Four 987. 4982. 4983. Let's see what was going on that day. Always love a China Rider. Ooh, I know this set. I know this show. Bow. This show ever. Yeah, that's a good one. Anyway, I like to find sets with Wharf Rat. It's my favorite. Whoa, can't get no satisfaction. And they still closed with Broke Down. Oh, man. That's a good 2 for encore right there, usually. Anyway, yeah. And then we'll talk charts, do some bong rips. What? Well, you can leave that part out. And then we'll have our guest on. And then we'll talk some charts, prepare for some option trades. And then if we're real lucky, we got a DJ coming on at 10 who has invented a genre that is taking off known as Yacht House. So he'll take rock and roll songs. It was by default, by accident, he started spinning house music to yacht rock songs. And now he has given birth to a genre known as Yacht House. And it's actually becoming a thing. My buddy was the first person doing this. Let's see if there's any Yacht House on the internet. Yacht House. And if you just said to yourself, you don't know what yacht rock is, or worse, you don't know what house music is, you could excuse yourself. You've been crossed off the list. Don't even bother showing up. Because it's house music all night long. Say what? Let's see what Yacht House. What do they have to? Oh, right. Of course you got this song.
Failed your prop challenge?
By the way, I want to try this guy, Hive Mind Trading AI. Has anybody tried Hive Mining? This ad actually gets me. I like this ad. I like the idea of hive mind. That's so pluribus. That's so Borg. I want to try this site. Anybody try this? All these ads. I'm curious about this one called HiveMindTradingAI.com. Has anybody actually got funded by anybody? Has anybody tried that route where you get into these contests and then they fund your account? Does that even work? Because that's all I see on the interweb. Everyone's telling you that they're going to fund you. You just got to take this contest or join this thing. I was there at Red Rocks. What year was you there? I was there. Might have seen you there. Were you online with the coffee for an hour and a half waiting? Yeah, this is Yacht House.
He came from somewhere, you know, long ago. The sound of the food comes, he turned it on to recreate, but yet to be created. Once in her life, she musters her smile for his nostalgic care. Never coming near what he wanted to say, only to realize it never really was. She in his life.
Oh, good luck being a shorter. Woo! Now sing it.
As she rises to her apology, anybody else would surely know. He's not too long who believes.
You get the idea. And then we'll put on Real House music if he's not around. But yeah, if he doesn't show up at 10 o'clock, sometimes I DJ a set. If you don't know my name, I was DJ Open Close back in the 90s. Nobody stepped to DJ Open Close. I had mad skills. I would press the open close button, put the CD in, press the open close button, and then I would crossfade. And my legend was born. Charlie Z, wait a minute. No guru that's on TikTok is profitable just from trading. I am. I'm that guy. Right. That's why I'm trying to stomp out all those other dudes. You'll see. I'm going to challenge everybody there is on TikTok. Not one person will step to me. Not one. I don't even want to trade real. I would even give them a chance. Let's not even trade real money. Let's see if you can come up with some good ideas throughout the day. Just show me that you know what you're talking about. Because most of these guys, you know how you also weed some guys out, weed some people out? Tell them to describe their strategy in 2 sentences. If they can't, then they're all over the place. I can do it. That's why the humble trader, I'm still not sure she's not a scam, because she talks about how all you need to do is find something that works. And the next day she's talking about something else. But you just told me that thing that you had worked. And then the next day she's talking about something else, and then nothing else, and something else, and something else. So what is it? So what is the strategy that you stick to? You just showed me 8 different strategies. And then you told me that you should stick to the strategy that works the best. So which is it? And I've also challenged her. And her response to the contest was, let me see a trade where you made 300,000 on NVIDIA like I did, and maybe I'll take your challenge. I'm like, I don't give a shit about your investments. You're calling yourself the humble trader. Let me see if you can trade intraday. And no response. And that's been my whole premise in life. Like, you know, again, monetarily, I'm a nobody. You know, I don't even trade like I used to trade. Now I just try to trade for fun, make a little bit, and then do my ranting and raving and education through osmosis. I'm in a sweet spot. I could do both. But it's very, very difficult to trade and talk at the same time. That's why I limit myself to a couple of trades and then mostly doing more walking through, helping people, education, all that stuff. Because the one thing that still pisses me off to no end is the missed opportunities or me trading poorly because I'm looking to do something else because I'm doing the broadcast. So listen, all these spikes, right, of bullishness, UVXY is still up 3 points. You know, if this market's truly going to rally some more, you need UVXY now to break down under that 51 and really start to plummet down to the 50. So yeah, if you like real house music, I could drop it down. I could drop it. I mixed up this one set for my daughter's birthday party, and then nobody cared. I was very upset. I spent days mixing this stuff together. Nobody was paying attention to DJ Dad. Worked so hard. Oh, by the way, this is another song that I found just looking for songs with the names of stock related things. I found an incredible song called Pattern Recognition. And this one is called Anchored Point. How fantastic. Drop it. This is almost like chill out room house music. It's so cool. I was just searching for names. Holy shit! And good luck being a shorter. All right, let's get serious now, people. Now, I'm not long, but I'm certainly not short anymore, right? And for a second, I thought those were going to be bad stops. But if you consistently play by the rules, even if something's a bad stop once in a while, if you just play by the rules, I said I'm not staying short. If we break back over 580, we broke over 580. I haven't been short since. Nice cover. Where did this buy program come from? World peace again? Right, sure. All you can do is trade what you see. And in this case, thank God you did, right? Good luck being a shorter in this market. It's virtually impossible. Because the market, first of all, doesn't want to go down anymore. We saw that last week. We saw confirmation of that Wednesday. We saw confirmation over the weekend. This market does not want to go down anymore. The buy program that hit on Tuesday has annihilated all the shorts. And now it's just a question of how many different news stories can you live through. But the short past tense worked. We had a reason to go short, a reason to go short, a reason to cover, a reason to get stopped out. If you readdressed it, reason to cover, reason to cover, reason to get stopped out. And here we are. But very, very difficult. And you see now why we have that mantra in the back of our minds always. Shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. Listen, friends, I couldn't have made a better call from 603 to 555. It's one of my best calls of my life. Did I nail the double top? No. But since the double top, I got into the bearish camp. And I've been milking shorts ever since. And I milked this bad boy right to 555. Didn't cover and go long down there. That would have been made me, that's too good to be true if anybody did that. But except for Sid. Sid did that. We have a member in our room. All he does is sell high, cover and go long at lows. And then he sells at highs also. He's a magic man. But we can't be like Sid. And the wizard tends to do that too. But close enough. And then fast forward to, here's your 15 days, right? So here's 15 days. Here's where we were still short over the weekend. The market got bought. Don't want to get in the way of a short covering rally. Gave it one more day. And the Tuesday buy program that hit. Remember Tuesday buy program? Just ripping. Forced to cover. Got out of the SQQ. Got out of my Q short. Then the Wednesday, which was not a bad trading day. Tuesday was annoying because all we did was grind the higher and close. Wednesday, at least it gave you a chance to buy. But then Thursday was the greatest trading day of the year because the market had every reason to give it all back. And not only did it not give it back, it faux show broed from a pre-market pivot back above the VWAP to the multi-day for a 10-point rip in your fotch, not only confirming that the bottom from the prior days might be a true bottom, but also giving you the faux show bro holiday that was Thursday before the long holiday weekend. And then gapping down Sunday, still fighting back, gapping down Monday, still fighting back, gapping down Tuesday, still fighting back. And we're in a market that's telling you, it's trying to tell you, good luck being a shorter over any extended period of time. Good luck. You're going to be a shorter? Stick with me. I'm the king. And why am I the king now? Because I've been humbled. Speaking of humble trader, I'll never make the same mistakes I made. For 3 years, I refused to give up. Now, on the first sign, I'm out. I'm never getting caught short this market that refuses to go down ever again. And for all I know, for all anybody knows, is that we just did what the market wanted to do. Retrace to real support from the August 2025 levels, and they held. We're still in the overall downtrend. This is a 50, almost a 35, 40-point move. What we're witnessing right now is exactly what should be happening. Consolidation after a massive bounce, and then the market tells you what's going to happen next. I wish I could tell you. But what I could tell you is if we break those recent lows, which would be a 2-year, almost a yearly VWAP, sorry, it'd be a yearly VWAP rejection again, and close to a yearly, just not VWAP, but a yearly test of those lows. And if we don't hold that prior pivot right underneath there, which is only 3 or 4 more points, about 4 or 5, then I believe we could still sell off to the 2-year VWAP, which is not that far away. It's only 12 more points. But what happens at that level is the most significant. If we don't hold that 538, we can really get smoked down for another 40 or 50 points. But for now, we have to start factoring in that the 555 quadruple bottom faux show may very well be new generational lows that you're never going to see ever again. Could be. But more importantly, UNH, and understanding that we were short this bad boy and we milked it for every damn penny I could get. And down here at 301, you think I'm thinking about covering the whole thing? Why? When we're breaking 301, we're finally breaking the 928, 925 low. You think I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to have to be covering this soon? Right at that point, I'm thinking we're rolling over. I'm going to get paid. And then 20 minutes later, we're back above that range. Now we're holding that range. And now we're breaking ass cracks. And I went from counting my money to getting out of the trade. That's how you survive for 35 years. And these are the mistakes that I used to make. Because I would say to myself, screw this. The market's weak. The stock's going to get sold off again later on. And I'd add to it like a moron. And I would take a winning trade and turning into a small loss, into a bigger loss, into a massive loss. And then I'd go and complain to my wife that I shouldn't be doing this anymore. Never again. Faux show, bro. VWAP break. That's it. It's over. Deal with it. You were counting your chickens. You thought it was going to go down another 5. So did I. But then the market and the stock tells you you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. You just don't stay wrong. And when you're savvy enough to understand, you got paid. You did as best as you could. And that's all she wanted to give us. Why not cover and go long when the trade sets up as a long trade, now breaking highs? How you doing? That is the essence of what we're trying to lay down here. Knowing that you can be paid on a short. Keep in mind that shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. But don't get caught in that trade. Cover. Do your best to stay in. Market tells you it's time to get out. Get the hell out. Join the winning team. And the levels that were important to you before as a shorter now are just as important as a long trade. And now you got the 304 back to where I said we could go. That's why we draw the red line up there to remind us that that's the target when this trade developed. And voila. Now what are you doing? You're selling. Because now you got the hard work done. Now you could go back to 2-year, 2-day, 3-day, 4-day, 5-day. Any VWAP helping you? No. So what do? You go back to price from the overnight. Go back to the 1-day. Put it on a 5-minute scale. And how you doing? Now you see it a little better. You just broke pre-market highs. Where do you think you're going to go next? If you just said 312.50, congratulations. You know what you're talking about. But 312.50 is just one target. You now have to assume that this thing's on its way to 313, which is why, even though you still think it's going up another 3 points, you're still selling 50% of what you got if you took this trade, because that's how you stay in the business. You get the prices where something happened once before. You don't know. This little blip can roll over and just give it all back in one candle. So you sell. You got a new target. And that's why you don't get out of your entire position at one price. Because you have to assume this thing's about to go up 2 more points. Now you raise your stop. You sold some. Gives you permission to raise your stop and believe. And for me, all I can say is I covered at 301.40. And this trade exemplifies everything that we're trying to do. We're traders. We trade the best there is. There's no other way of trading the market than using price action around VWAP and price that have pivoted off intraday and using 2 or 3 days worth of data, aftermarket and pre-market. And everything I just laid down to you, we're going to go over for hours on Saturday. So if you were debating whether or not to join us, this is the time. You're getting everything I'm doing for 3 months all rolled up into one. You're even getting Glick's picks in the morning. You might even get in the VIP evenings edition. You're getting schmooze access. You're getting the class on Saturday. And normally I don't do any spieling and selling right now, but take advantage of this deal because I'm going to be putting an end to it soon because it's way too cheap for $3,000 for everything. These next 3 months you're getting the best of the best. But soon we're going to be a la carte in this shit. So join now or be left out. And then we go back to DJing. Let's go. I'll be right back. What do you want to hear? Lipstick? Want to hear some push that? Take it off? What are you in the mood for? Losing it? So am I. Because I'm losing it right now that I didn't buy this UNH long. After wasting, and I call it a waste of time because I only made it like $1.50 on the whole trade. So kind of a waste. Look at the long trade. Much easier, much and I told you I could smell it. Stock did not want to go down. I was glad I made something on that trade. But knowing that the trade wasn't really cooperating and knowing that I was going to get stopped out, still let it breathe until I had to get stopped out at the break. And let's go. By the way, if you're not getting up from your desk right now to this, come on. What's wrong with you? Take them legs out. It's 12 o'clock. We've conquered another day. Break it on down.
I'm losing it.
Yes, it is a banger. Yeah, try my crossfade. Crossfade once for you. Oh, you like my crossfade. DJ Open Close in the house. Getting paid 30 grand for the night. Press buttons. Here comes the smoke machine. If anybody needs any extracurriculars, talk to my man behind the bar, if you know what I'm saying. Now let's drop it. One time, DJ Open Close. Everybody raise your hands up. All right, listen, I'm going to leave you guys here, but I just want to point out one more thing. If you don't believe the market's rigged, right, even throughout this volatility that we're seeing where a tweet or a news drop, the algorithms pick up, there's keyword algorithms, they're searching for news. We're overreacting, we're underreacting, we're counter-reacting, we're doing things that sometimes the reaction is counterintuitive to what just happened. But look at where the Qs just spiked to. Right? And when I tell you the market's doing exactly what it quote unquote should be doing, I can't prove it now, but I 100%, the reason I was saying I want to be a shorter finally, consolidation was going to lead to a sell-off. You could feel the heaviness of the market. UVXY was giving us little hints that this market was getting weaker by staying strong. We were seeing the tech sector run out of steam, literally right in front of our eyes. Earnings reports were selling off when the news was good. Everything was there for the market to sell off. And then we got it. And we went to a very specific algorithmic pivot point, the yearly VWAP, and then basically the 18-month VWAP. And we hit it to the penny. And we bounced. And it was a massive bounce, just like we usually get. 555 got us back to close to 590. That's a monster move. The market should be down today. It's exactly where it should be, consolidating this monstrous move off those lows. It's a very healthy market, my friends. Don't allow this volatility to cloud your judgment. This market wants to go higher. It might have another little dipsy-do, but the buyers are back. That Tuesday buy program was special. You could feel the difference. It just was an onslaught. And then we held that. So really the Tuesday pivot is a danger zone. But now today's lows are very specific because we just held another attempt to sell off. So if we're ever going to sell off again, and I say ever playfully, I'm sure we will, this new level here will be factored into multiple time frame VWAP tomorrow, if not the exact price. So you get rid of all these lines right now. And again, nobody should be short the Qs anymore. It's done way too many things for you to be short. Fake out, shake out, blasting past the 80, holding the 80, pivoting again, getting to the 82.50 and the VWAP break. Nobody should be short the Qs anymore. That doesn't mean you can't reshort them on a roll, but right now, the only thing saying that there might be some more selling is the UVXY. UVXY is still up 3. It's pretty big. So there's a chance that this consolidation could lead to a rollover, but keep an eye on UVXY. It'll give you a tell for when the next move is going to happen. Starts to get back above 52 and change, starts to rally, you know this market's going to give something back. UVXY starts to plummet, the all clear signal is sent, you break over multi-day, we're probably headed back to the highs of the day. But like I said, it's becoming a little bit more difficult to trade, a little bit. Swinging, it's virtually impossible because you really don't know what the hell is going to happen in the overnight session either. And then the pre-market session and the opens. I mean, right now, again, the only thing you could judge is, and I'm being proved right now, it's impossible to be short, right? I mean, it really is. And look, I was short. I got paid. And now it's over. And that's trading. Right now, you just got a double top at prior day VWAP. The longer you consolidate between today's and the prior day, and then it breaks prior day, that's better. So, again, if you're still long right now, the only levels you're worried about is VWAP because you're still in that 2.5 point range. So that's the 82.50 area. The shorts are praying that the orange line keeps holding up as their resistance, and they're waiting to see if it rolls over. UVXY is telling me that the shorts have a reason to still believe right now. Because usually with UVXY up 3, these little rallies are still considered short covering rallies. But I don't care what you want to call it. I'm not staying short when you break back over big 580s, 82.50s, and VWAP. And that's where I'm at right now. One mistake I did today was not trading the Humana long after milking it for all I could get out of that short, knowing it was not Humana, UNH. And by the way, the Humana turned out to be a great cover too. Look at the orange line cover. I told you, all right, now that it's held it from on top, that changes the posture of the stock. Now it's time to buy this same trade. So once you understand how to use all the multiple time frame VWAPs and where they're lying, sometimes it acts as a target. Target holds. Now you've got it using it as resistance. Then resistance fails. Now it's support. Support holds on multi-day. Generally go back to the 1. And there's a new trade setup, just like the UNH and the now Humana, same thing. Yeah, I like them both as swing trades once they got completely wiped out. Humana had its own issues before UNH, right? Humana was getting hammered on some other news back. I remember talking about it last year with my pickleball folks. Or was that even 2 years ago already? It's been a long time. So we could go back to my mixing of classic rock songs and house music, or we could just go get some lunch. Uh-oh. See what I did there, right? Did you catch that first thing? Uh-oh. Watch. Uh-oh. Bring it back. I think that's me when I was jamming at Pastels when I was a kid. All right, much more of this later on. So I'm gonna take a break. I'll probably be back in about an hour. Back. Market is, you see it. Crushing shorts as usual, but just be careful. UVXY. I think my next trade actually will be shorting the UVXY itself, but let me see how much it costs to borrow today. They're making it hard to borrow. $6 per 100. So if I want to short 1,000 short shares of this, it costs me $60 just for the borrow. That ain't bad. All right, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's called short request or short locates. Talk more about that on Saturday too. All right, hope you did better on that UNH than I did. I mean, what a nice cover. But if I would have hit the button twice, it would have been a whole different day for me. But glad I covered near lows. And Qs are still in that limbo stage. Again, I hope you're not short anymore. You had 4 really specific reasons to cover. Just UVXY is a little confounding. Right now, I still think UVXY is kind of trying to warn us, but we'll see. Something's going to give. Back to that conversation. Something's going to give. All right. Be careful out there. Nice hanging with you. I'll be back tomorrow, later today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your days. I'll see you in about an hour. By the way, if you are into unboxing, I wasn't joking around about that earlier. I'm a huge baseball card guy, and I just bought my first boxes I've bought in probably 20 years. So I'm going to do a little unboxing and ripping online if you're into it. I got the Topps 2026 Heritage. They look like 1977 Topps with the new players on them. I couldn't resist. That was the first set I ever bought when I was a kid. And nobody has any idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's an unboxing thing, ripping open packs online. The kids love it, so I'm going to do my own version. I'll see you in cyberspace. Have a great